Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're diving into the world of cryptocurrency. Specifically, we're looking at the best performing cryptocurrencies this October 2024. And we've got a ton of great sources for this one. We dug into articles from Forbes Advisor, Coin Codex, NFT Evening, even Crypto News. We're talking all about the charts, the insights, and those details that make you go, aha. You know those ones. And I'm joined by Nancy, our crypto expert extraordinaire. Nancy, ready to decode this digital gold rush.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be following crypto. We're seeing some really interesting trends with the titans holding their ground, but also some exciting new contenders.
So let's start with the big ones that everyone's heard of. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Forbes Advisor says Bitcoin is looking strong right now, a market cap of $1.3 trillion and 124% year-over-year return, which is incredible when you think about it. This is something that went from, what was it, like $500 in 2016 to almost $66,000 a coin now. It's wild. And then we've got Ethereum, the favorite of developers everywhere, powering things like smart contracts and NFTs. And Ethereum's had its own incredible journey, going from just $11 to over $2,600. Nancy, with all these altcoins popping up left and right, what is it about Bitcoin and Ethereum that's kept them at the top?
Well, I think it really comes down to their fundamental appeal. So Bitcoin, with its limited supply, there's only 21 million coins, it's earned that nickname, digital gold. And that's really attractive to a lot of investors, especially those who are concerned about inflation. And then you add on top of that the recent introduction of spot Bitcoin ETFs. It's really fueled the fire and driven up the price. Now, Ethereum, on the other hand, it's really become like the bedrock of the decentralized finance revolution, DeFi. And their recent move to a proof-of-stake model, and then the launch of their own ETFs. These have all really just strengthened Ethereum's position as a leader in this space.
It seems like the more developers that get on board with Ethereum, the more attractive it becomes to even more users.
Exactly. It's this self-reinforcing cycle that's really hard to disrupt.
Just like a snowball effect.
Yeah. It creates this powerful network effect that really strengthens Ethereum's position in the market.
Okay, so we've got these big players, but what about the rest of the playing field? Forbes Advisor, Coin Codex, NFT Evening, they all pointed to some other promising players, like Solana, Toncoin, and XRP. So Solana, for example, has been making some noise with its speed and its super low transaction fees. Seems like it's giving Ethereum a run for its money, at least in some areas. Then there's Toncoin, which is really interesting because it's connected to the Telegram universe. And it uses sharding, which I have to admit I don't totally understand yet. And then there's XRP. Talk about a wild ride. They're all about revolutionizing cross-border payments, and they had that big legal victory against the SEC. So Nancy, are these signs of a new wave in blockchain tech, or are these just flashes in the pan?
Well, I think what's really interesting about these altcoins is that they're not all trying to be the next Bitcoin, They're really carving out their own niches and addressing specific needs within the blockchain space.
Yeah, horses for courses.
Right. Like take Solana, for example. It's got incredibly fast transaction speeds and significantly lower fees than Ethereum. So while it might not dethrone Ethereum entirely, it definitely offers a compelling alternative for certain developers and users who really prioritize efficiency.
Speed and low costs, always a good thing.
Yeah.
And what about Toncoin? With that connection to Telegram, that sounds like it could be huge.
It really could. I think Toncoin's integration with Telegram is a brilliant move strategically because you think about Telegram's massive user base. It gives Toncoin this huge potential to bring millions of people who might be totally new to crypto into the fold. I mean, imagine, even if just a fraction of Telegram users started using Toncoin for transactions or exploring DeFi applications, it could be huge, a real game changer in terms of mass adoption.
That's a really good point. And speaking of game changers, XRP has had quite a year. But that legal win against the SEC, that's got to feel pretty good, right?
Oh, absolutely. That legal victory was a major turning point for XRP. It really paved the way for wider adoption, I think, especially by financial institutions and payment providers. A lot of them are hesitant before because of the regulatory uncertainty. But XRP has always been focused on facilitating fast and cheap cross-border payments, and it has the potential to really disrupt the traditional financial system. And this victory, it removes a big hurdle in its path.
Like a whole new lease on life. So we've talked about these big players and some promising up-and-comers, but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention, well, the elephant in the room, or maybe I should say, the Doge in the room. Crypto News reminded us that Dogecoin, the OG meme coin, it's still alive and kicking, even with all these new cryptocurrencies popping up, and it's got those celebrity endorsements, a really passionate community, and let's face it, it's fun. So is there more to Dogecoin than meets the eye, Nancy? Or is it all hype and memes?
I think Dogecoin is really interesting because it really does illustrate how something that starts as a joke can evolve into something much bigger, driven by a community. And while it's speculative for sure and volatile, there's no denying that, it's low barrier to entry, and increasingly, it's real-world adoption. And yeah, that fun factor, it's given it some surprising staying power.
It's amazing what a little fun can do. Shows the power of community.
Yeah, sure. Community-driven projects that can gain so much momentum, and in ways that
Yeah.
we could never have predicted. And I think Dogecoin's recent market performance really shows that. It's a good reminder that the human element plays a big role in this space. It influences trends and valuations in ways that you just don't always expect.
So we've covered the big contenders, the promising newcomers, and even the meme coin phenomenon. But now for the big question. The reason we're all here. How do we choose the best crypto to buy right now? Forbes Advisor recommends looking at things like market capitalization, liquidity, security, and the use case.
Right. And it's really important to remember it's not just about chasing the next big thing. Investing in crypto should be something that aligns with your own personal goals and your own risk tolerance.
So we're not looking for get-rich-quick schemes here. We're trying to make smart decisions.
Exactly. I think those are all really important points from Forbes Advisor. We're thinking about the long-term potential, not just short-term gains. Look beyond the hype. Really dig into the technology behind a project, the team behind it, and what its applications are in the real world. Do your research.
Research is key. So big picture then. Should listeners be looking at those established players, like your Bitcoins and Ethereums, or diversifying into these newer projects that we talked about?
Well, I think a balanced portfolio is always a good approach. So you might start with a good foundation in Bitcoin and Ethereum, but then consider, allocating a smaller portion to some of those newer projects that you think have a lot of potential and that really resonate with you.
So like building your crypto dream team.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I will say, it can feel overwhelming sometimes. There's just so much information out there.
Oh, absolutely. And it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's hot today might be old news tomorrow. So it's really important to stay informed and, really think about what your own personal goals are. What's your risk tolerance? And don't get caught up in the hype. Figure out what really excites you about blockchain technology.
Right.
Like, are you interested in the security of Bitcoin? Or maybe you're more interested in the potential of something like XRP to change how we do cross-border payments.
Yeah, find those projects
Yeah.
that you really connect with and that you believe in.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, that's what makes investing in this space so exciting.
It's about the future of finance.
Exactly.
And we get to be a part of it.
We do.
And Coin Codex had this really interesting question they asked. Is the best crypto to buy now the one with the highest market cap? Or could it be a project with incredible utility that maybe doesn't have as much name recognition yet?
That's a great question. And I think it really gets to the heart of what we've been talking about. It's about your goals, your risk tolerance, and what you're passionate about.
I think that's a great place to leave it. Nancy, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us.
Always a pleasure.
And listeners, don't forget to check out the show notes. We've got links to all the articles we talked about today, so you could do your own research and figure out which cryptos are right for you.
And have fun with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an exciting space to be a part of. Thanks again, Nancy.
Anytime.
And to all our listeners, we'll catch you on the next deep dive.